Welcome to Big Finish, brought to you by our friends at Knob Creek. It is all Stanley Cup playoffs, all the dang time, joined by Ryan Nanny and, of course, SB Nation hockey editor Travis Hughes. Let's start at the top. We're going into the second round now. The matchups are all but set. What to you is the biggest entertainment star power intrigue matchup?
Capitals Rangers.
Yeah.
It's got to be the one that NBC likes the most as well.
Of course. Big cities.
Yes. And yeah, it's just going to be a great series. These
is.
teams are very familiar with each other. They've played in the playoffs a million times in the last several years. And you got Alex Ovechkin, you got the Rangers.
Yep.
You have a great goalie matchup, and Lundqvist versus Braden Holtby, so it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. Holtby's been, during the regular season, he was a top 10 goalie to start with, but he's really elevated his game in the postseason, it feels like. So.
Yeah, he had that one stretch in the regular season where he went like 18 games without a loss or something. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And he's been great in the first round against the Islanders, and Lundqvist has been great for the Rangers, so it's going to be a good one.
Star power all around. We've seen this matchup between these two teams at least, 38 of the past 40 years. So a familiar thing.
Right.
What to you, looking forward, is the biggest X factor? Who or which team do you feel like you could get an A+ game from and then a C- game and just no explanation?
That's a good question. I think I would go with the Minnesota Wild.
Yeah.
They didn't really score a bunch against the Blues. The Blues are a very good team.
Very good Blues team, yeah.
They were able to get by those guys. But Devin Dubnyk in goal is kind of the big question for them.
Yes.
Whether or not he's going to be able to play against Chicago the way he did against the St. Louis Blues. It's a question for sure. So who knows what we're going to get out of that series. It's going to be it should be a good one as well. But it really rests on Dubnyk.
And not ideal given that, as you said, Chicago has that depth, especially with Kane playing so well coming off an injury.
Yeah. Everybody wondered what was going to happen with him in his injury, and he's been great in the first round. So they have their depth, and they're probably the deepest team in the postseason. Maybe throw Anaheim in there as well, but they're an extremely deep team.
Yeah, if Chicago can get past Chicago, they should be fine. To you, what is the surest thing? We talk about an X factor, not knowing what we're going to get. So far, what can we count on the most as playoff viewers?
Carey Price.
Yeah, I would say so.
Can certainly count on him. Whether you can count on the rest of the Montreal Canadiens is a question. But Carey Price, he's the reason why they were able to get by the Ottawa Senators in that first round series, and he's been awesome for them. He's the best goalie in the league.
As we know, if you have a hot hand, ride it. Ride it as much and as often as humanly possible. And with that, let's get into the big finishes themselves, our two biggest goals of the week. All right, first goal.
It's Evgeny Kuznetsov late in the third period of Game 7 here. Tie game, and he just takes it all upon himself and comes right across the front of the net there. Beats two defenders, beats a goaltender, and look at the Islanders just laying around. Absolutely incredible shot by a guy who is in his first year in the NHL.
The angle on the goal is something you think a NASA scientist should be saying, like, no, it's too steep, you'll burn up on re-entry, we can't do it!
And yet he did it. And also, that goal prevented the Caps from choking a Game 7.
Another Game 7.
So a scientific impossibility. All right, let's now look at the second goal.
So the Ducks here with a chance to eliminate the Jets in Game 4. Down a goal in the first period. Emerson Edin picks up this puck, and look at this move on Jacob Trouba, just embarrassing. And then the backhand flip, glove high on Andre Pavlik. That's really what makes this goal for me. Just a beautiful instinct move to evade the sliding defenseman there.
How do you even begin to defend that when he has the instinct to weave in and flick, all in one motion?
Yeah, basically in one motion, right? Yeah. Just incredible goal. I mean, the Jets could have done a little bit better pushing Edin off to the side.
Okay.
The back-checking defenseman was Adam Lowry, and he just didn't do a good enough job. He kind of stopped skating.
Especially when you're facing elimination, you should just show that to your children. They're like, Papa, what is it like when hope dies? Here it is. This is what it looks like.
Also, we live in Winnipeg.
Aww. All right, those are the goals. It is time to vote on the big finish. Is it Emerson Edin? Just crazy athleticism. Is it Kuznetsov winning the series? I'm going with Edin. Just the athleticism, the instincts, too ridiculous, even though the stakes were not as high.
I respect that. It's a good choice. It's a very pretty goal. You are a very pretty man, but Travis and I, we are about results in big situations. There's nothing bigger than Game 7 scoring a goal like that. You got to give it to Kuz.
Yep. Yeah, you do. I get it. It's a Game 7. It's a huge goal. I favored the athleticism, but it has been decided. This week's Big Finish, brought to you by Knob Creek, voted the nation's best bourbon in 2015, goes to Kuz. I feel defeated once again, but let's drink to the playoffs. Thank you for watching Big Finish. See you next week.